Hello, all you bald and balding people, and welcome back to Those Bald Chicks, your favorite alopecia podcast. This episode is going to be a little bit different this time. I wanted to preface it with this. A goodbye signifies that something has ended. That's why this is merely a good farewell. I feel like everybody's going to be kind of confused by this, but stay with us. A good farewell honors the past and provides closure as you move on to your next chapter. It allows you to recognize your life experiences with other people and the world around you and gives you the chance to express how you truly feel. Take it away, Kristen.
All right. Well, I've made the hard decision to take a step back from the podcast, meaning you will not hear my voice any longer.
Boo!
She did that so she didn't cry, folks.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Had to get a couple chuckles.
That's right. It wasn't something that I came to lightly. It was because my plate is overwhelmingly full with, work and other stuff in life that just gets to be something that you have to choose what comes off that plate. And unfortunately, the podcast had to be what I chopped. I love the alopecia community. Don't get me wrong. I love Paige. She will always be in my life, whether she likes it or not.
Stuck like glue.
That bitch is stuck to me. No. She's gonna be like, Leech, get up.
I'm gonna be pouring salt on you.
That won't stop me. No. It'll just make me salty.
Yeah, right.
Oh, shit. But we wanted to do this episode as just kind of like a farewell, as Paige said in the beginning, and just kind of talk about some of the good times that we had. And, it's been a ride for sure.
For 2 years. Yeah, absolutely.
2 freaking years. I can't believe it.
It feels like yesterday, but also it feels like more than 2 years ago. It's very bizarre.
It is, right?
I think that's also plays part in podcasting is a lot of work, which I know you know. And that's a whole nother reason why it probably plays into Kristen's.
Well, because there's prep, there's editing, there's creating the content. It's rewarding for us, but it's also draining to always talk alopecia.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's what it's been the focus of, right? So, we put out all these Instagram posts. It's all about alopecia, and we talk about alopecia, right?
We live through alopecia. Yeah, that's why, I don't know if anybody knows this, probably, we're an open book, but that's why we did the guest series, because we were okay, we've kind of hit most things about alopecia with all of our episodes. So why not now we have guests on to just tell their story? It'll be a way for them to talk about their story and vent and get therapy through it, because we hit so many different topics of alopecia that we were kind of I remember before we did the guest series, we're sitting there oh shit, what should we talk about now? We kind of hit everything right in the first year. So then when the second year came around, we were well, let's just focus on other people, because obviously it's a community. So that's been awesome. But it's also a lot of work to schedule and get everybody on each other's schedule. And yeah, it's a lot of work.
Especially with time zones. I swear those have been our nemesises over the years. It's okay, what time zone are you in? Nobody knows.
I know. Are we seeing each other in a half an hour, an hour, or 2 hours?
Yeah,
what's going on? What is going on here?
I know, and Paige and I are 2 hours different, so it's
we're even working behind the scenes. Yep. Even behind the scenes when we're working on stuff, we're oh wait, is it too early for me to text? Is it too late?
Yeah. Luckily, my phone is always on silence.
Yeah, so is mine.
Because I'm not a fan to get woken up by a phone, especially. Yeah. So when my husband's phone is bzzz, I'm what are you doing, man?
I'm the same way, though.
And I think we had so many laughs. Especially with the new guest series, we added in that question about, anything funny that you can laugh about now. And I think that one, oh man, the horse story.
Yeah. I know, I feel that was our favorite part about this is it wasn't all serious. We wanted, I remember when we first started talking about this, we wanted it to be fun. We didn't just want to talk about the sad stuff all the time. We wanted it to just be a hoot for people to listen to, and us cracking up and being terrible at telling jokes. And I feel that was the whole point.
All of our puns. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. That's the best. All the dad jokes.
Punny.
Yeah, and all the good dad jokes we did. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That was like the whole point, was just like, if we can't laugh about it, then what's the point, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And our chick bits at the end of each episode, that was a fun addition.
That
I liked adding that in for sure.
Me too. That was a whole nother play on, like, we didn't want it to be all alopecia and all hair loss. We wanted it to be looking forward to something that was completely random at the end of every episode, because it's like, I mean, there's only so much you can say about hair loss. You could talk to different people and hear all their stories. Of course, that could go on forever. You could literally interview 2 million people or plus, however many people have it. But like, I feel like we wanted to add in extra stuff with alopecia. And that's the hardest part too, right? Like with a podcast, you can always have sub podcasts. And we talked about that even. We were like, oh, what if we branched off and we did this, or we did like random episodes every so often about like celebrity news, or we talked about that. But then we were like, that's so much more work. We don't have time for it.
Research. Like, I remember even you went down a rabbit hole. The one, I think it was like history of wigs or something.
Yeah.
And you just like researched the crap out of that, right? Like, yeah. And then there was one where you were telling us like interesting facts, and you were getting our responses to it, right? So yeah, the amount of research that goes in.
Yeah, and it's not just like, that's why we didn't just want to bring our experiences to this podcast. We wanted to bring facts and history and jokes and everything involved in it, because we wanted to make it different. We wanted to make it fun. And a lot of people don't realize it was great work and we enjoyed it. But like, when you do also try and have a life and you have a job, a second job, animals, kids, husbands, wives, whatever it is, family, there's always so much time and so many things that you could miss out on because you're focusing so much on social media and podcasting and recording and editing, and everything goes into it. There's not enough time for all of it. That's why, unfortunately,
especially when you like to sleep. I mean, you know,
right?
Maybe if I didn't sleep, we could.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I know. It's a lot of work, and it gets tiring, and that's why it's nice to like take breaks and stuff. But then there's always a point where things have to end. Like, everything has an ending. That's the thing. Is like, every single thing in your life, there's going to be an end to it. Sometimes the endings are great. Sometimes the endings are sad. But yeah, that's my spiel.
I like it a lot. And I mean, you know, these podcasts aren't going anywhere. Like, we have 70 odd episodes that are sticking out there on the internet. So, I mean, there's all those to listen to. And that's a lot of episodes. Like, you know, until we counted them, I was like, holy crap. For some reason, I don't know why, but I thought we were at like 50. And
so did
like,
I.
What?
Right. Yeah. I know. It's crazy. It's a lot of talking. I mean, like, every episode, I think, averaged like 30 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, and that's after you edited it, because some of the places it was just like long
hour long.
I'd screw it up, or
Oh God, yeah. Editing is I'm happy that I've gotten so used to it in 2 years, but in the beginning, man, I had no idea what I was doing.
Like, if we touch stuff and you would be like, okay, no hand movements next episode. And then she'd be the worst for it, because she'd like...
Oh, God. Damon and I were just talking about that the other day, how I'm so, like, just movie. That's why I'm like, I need to sit on my hands, because...
You knock drinks over too? Me too. In the worst possible way, like on the couch.
I'm too busy. I talk too much with my hands. Yep. I'm a mess. I knock too many drinks on people's laps at restaurants. Like,
oh, that's not good. No.
It's very unfortunate. I know. It was terrible as a kid. Like, my family would, like, put drinks to the opposite side of the table because they knew that I was going to knock drinks. I don't know why.
They probably had sticks and were like, who's sitting by Paige?
Yeah, right. Who's the one that gets to unfortunately sit by
and they're like, you're getting a club soda or a Sprite, something that's not going to stain me.
Yep. Absolutely. Or just water. Yeah, and that person just unfortunately has to drink water and get, like, a salad with no dressing.
Yeah, forget the lasagna for them. No.
Yep. No way.
No soup.
Nope. God. Clumsy. I'm clumsy in, like, certain moments. Other moments, not so much. Like, I got quick hands, I can catch things. But for whatever reason, with, like, drinks, clumsy.
I know.
Can't catch them.
Drinks and food. I
Yep.
always, like, while walking, I somehow trip and then they go spot, like,
Yep.
flying.
I remember Kyle saying, "You're like a little bunny that leaves little crumbs
everywhere." I just dropped a raspberry on the floor the other day and I thought I picked up all the ones. Anyway, he stepped on it. He's like, "What did I step on, Kristen? What did I step on?" And
My little snakes.
These are white socks.
Incredible.
Oopsies. Yeah. We had just gotten our carpets replaced. And I had enchilada sauce. What do you think spilled on the carpet?
Enchilada
sauce.
Love it.
So many problems.
Life.
You know what else was great about this was the connection that we made with, like, not only the people in the community, but, you know, like Rio's Rainbow Foundation. Yeah. And
I think
Rio's
that was
parents.
a big one for me. It was so great to be able to talk to them, work with them, even like, I mean, that was rough for all of us, but like being able to know who they are and meet them on Zoom and hear their perspective and how we talked a little bit before and a little bit after. And I don't know, I think that was probably one of my favorite things, is getting to know her family and being a part of that in a big way, because that was the whole point of this, to be like people to lean on. And we were both shocked that with Rio's Rainbow, we were the people that were leaned on. So that was powerful in itself. I mean, I feel like I'll hold that near and dear to my heart for the rest of my life. I talk about it
me too.
all the time.
I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such an important story, and it's just something that shouldn't be taken lightly, and it's something that shouldn't be forgotten.
Right. And I think that was our big thing too, was like, obviously sometimes like the internet will just be like, oh yeah, and like share about something and then it gets forgotten about. But like I remember us always talking, like we wanted to keep her story and everything like our main purpose. That was our motivation. And that was like, I literally remember right before we heard about that news, you and I were feeling a little bit of burnout, and we were like, man, like this is so much work, like can we really keep doing this? And then that situation happened, and that was like our second wind. We were like, oh, okay, never mind.
We gotta get this done.
Forget about our burnout. Yeah. Like, we think it's important to have a bunch of new guests on and to make sure that we talk to Rio's Rainbow. If anything, that was like our number one thing, was to have Rio's Rainbow and Rio's parents on. Just kind of talk about their organization and the whole situation. So if anything, that was our huge motivation to keep going for the second year, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Which was wonderful and really needed, because that's when we started our guest episodes. And then even the mom episodes, like those were so eye-opening and just amazing. Like even our moms coming on and telling stories that, like, you know, we may have not even heard.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's also important to think about, like, we have had everybody on that we needed to have on for ourselves too, like our partners and our moms. I feel like that was important to do as well, because it was like that was two big people in our lives that were a part of our story. So, which is funny because it's so weird to talk about like what's going to be next, because obviously if Kristen leaves, I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do. So like I have to figure that out. But it's also nice to know that if I do decide to possibly step down as well, I feel like enough has been done. And we've talked about everything we could and had on people that we loved and wanted to have on. So like I feel like nothing would be left out. Obviously, if I could, I would record with every alopecia in the world. But like obviously that's not doable. But like I still feel like we've done a good job.
However, if anyone could do it, it would be Paige. It would be.
I don't know. I got a busy life too.
I know you are busy. I know this, but like you are such a fucking amazing individual. I don't think you understand just how much you've changed my life in the like 2.5 years that I've known you. Like I feel like I've known you my whole life. And I honestly wish I would have.
Right?
I think it would have been better.
Would have been easier. we probably wouldn't have gone through we probably would have been like, fuck those people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, we're fine.
Yeah, exactly, right?
God. You always think about stuff like that where it's like, you go through so much stuff. And I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I probably have. But I have lost so many friends throughout my life since middle school. Like, I am one of the people that does not have the best friend that I've had for 17 years or something like that. Like, I don't have that. I don't even have like the best friend that I've had for like 10 years or 8. Like, I don't, because I haven't let anybody walk all over me. And a lot of people in my past that I was friends with walked all over me and treated me like absolute crap. So I left them, and I think I'm better off having less friends because of it. But like,
well, that's another thing. You gave me the strength to leave a friend that treated me like fucking shit for so many goddamn years.
Right.
Like, so many. So you gave me the strength to stand on my own 2 feet and say, no, I'm worth more than this.
Yeah. Isn't that so weird? Don't you ever think about, like, why did I hold on to that for so long?
Yeah, why did I let this person speak to me the way they spoke to me, or, you know, treat me like I was a second-hand something or other?
Yeah,
like,
made you
that
feel
I was
less
just like a toy that you could pick up whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
No, I am a person, and I am an awesome person. I deserve that respect.
Yeah. Literally, the least people deserve out of friendships is respect. I feel like that's just a given. I feel like you should respect that person, because what is friendship if you don't? But
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even alopecians out there probably have dealt with this, or just people in general that listen, how it's hard to have friendships now, like, or just in general, like, keeping friendships going. People change. Like, I feel like lifestyles change. People change and evolve. I feel like I'm going to be different when I'm 60 than I am now at 30. You know what I mean? Like,
but we're going to have great hair with all the wigs that we have.
I do love gray wigs, though. I'm kind of excited for that. Yeah. I think gray wigs are really pretty. I actually just went down a rabbit hole of looking. God, I need a new human hair wig. I've been, like, craving a human hair wig lately. But I don't have. This is, like, ratty and gross, and I'm like, man, but I don't have the money for it.
I know, right?
But I've been looking at, like, gray wigs because they're so pretty.
There's got a quality about them.
I feel like we're going like a million different ways on this episode. We really had no idea what we were going to talk about on this one.
No plan.
No, we didn't even like plan anything alopecia really. Like, I even thought about it. I was like, maybe we can do like alopecia news, but then that's kind of awkward. Like, if we talk about alopecia news and then, like, at the end, just, okay, well, see you later.
Yeah. I'm excited to know what you'll do afterwards.
I don't know. I know. I honestly don't know. She needs
some time to think about it, guys.
Yeah.
Okay?
I will definitely not know right after, so I might take, like, a week or two. Well, this is bi-weekly, so it might be, like, a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months, who knows. Right. But, like, yeah, I know I need to figure it out because, like Kristen, I mean, like, I'm busy too, so it's hard to find the time. And it obviously goes to say that how do you replace someone that you started something with? And I don't even want to do that. like what? I almost was like, Damon, you want to just be the host? For, like, the rest of the year and then call it a day. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, this whole thing was us. Like, in the beginning, that's what it was. And, like, I don't know. It would feel weird. I don't know if I would be okay with it or feel comfortable with it even. So the dynamic would be off. Like, it wouldn't be.
I know, right? You'd be starting, like, new with that person potentially.
Yeah. And, do I want to do that? I could still. That's the thing that I need to keep reminding myself. And you should too, is like, if we do end this, that doesn't mean that we're shitty people for ending it.
Oh, God, no.
Like, we know that this podcast has helped a lot of people, but also, like, we have to put ourselves first. We have
what have we always said about mental health? Yeah. Like, we've always put that first. Like, we've had breaks where we've taken to have our mental health looked after. Like, we've always put that first. So this is just another way of putting it first. So I
think I agree. In a different sense of this happening too, I feel like even with all the crap too that we as a community have dealt with too, like the Jada Pinkett Smith thing and Rio's Rainbow, and like Rio wasn't the only one. There were other people that unfortunately lost their lives to this journey and stuff like that. So like always having the podcast where we talked about all of that. We did this podcast where we knew that if stuff like that happened, we would talk about it because we had this platform to do so. But always thinking about those things and always talking about those things can really wear on your mental health and can really tire you out, because it's not like we could just not talk about it, close our Instagrams down, or but like it was constant. I mean, for a while with the Jada thing and Rio's Rainbow and everybody amping up their awareness and spreading the message far and wide, it felt great to do all of that awareness and push out that message, but also it was very daunting and sad, and the amount of times that I cried and cried and cried, like, because that's the last thing we want. The whole point of us doing this was to stop people or to make people feel like they're not alone, so that doesn't happen. So sometimes in a couple of ways it felt like we failed, or we didn't get close enough, or we didn't say the right thing because that happened. So I mean, all of that can really wear and tear on you. So I mean,
yeah,
like,
even like with the Rio thing, you know, like we didn't reach her. We didn't reach her in time, and that was like, it was horrifying to me.
Right. We both know that we shouldn't put that on us, but
no.
But we still do. We're humans.
But when you're such a advocate for alopecia and you do it in a public platform like we do,
yeah,
the fact that it didn't reach somebody, that they didn't know about the alopecia community, really took its toll on us.
Yeah. I still think about it. Like it's so wild that I feel so connected to that. And yet I never knew, I never knew her or her family or anything like that. But I feel like I still grieve that. I still, every time I see her face on my fridge, like I take a second and I take a breath and I'm like, oh, damn it. Like, damn it. I just,
Even
I
like
don't know.
The interview with her parents was just like,
a whole
half the time
thing.
Paige had to keep talking because I'm sitting there like, don't cry. You have no really right to cry. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah. Because it feels like we weren't the ones that lost a daughter, so like we didn't want to show our emotions and put that on them and everything like that. So like all of this really builds up. Like it's all a lot. We are so thankful and grateful for like working with partners and wonderful wig companies and everything like that, but like that's a lot of work too. And like you have to, I mean, if you're getting products sent to you, you have to do a ton of work for it, which Kristen and I tried really hard.
Quality work, right?
Yeah,
like, you can't just like snap
to find
a picture
time. Right, to find time to do that, to get the lighting, to make sure that we say the right thing. Yeah, exactly, making it fun, and we always tried to make it fun and original, and I don't know, it all adds up, and we are so grateful for all of this, and
so grateful for all of our listeners.
Yeah, like the
everybody
support
that's tuned in and the Instagram following. Like, holy shit! Like, I couldn't. And I know you guys are gonna support, you know, my decision to say goodbye, and also, you know, like whatever Paige makes is her decision.
Yeah.
So I know,
which is cool to know that, right? Which is cool to know that we're not, hopefully, letting anybody down, because that's the last thing we want to do. Because like we said, we've even said it on our page a million times, where we'll keep spreading awareness far and wide. And I mean, if that doesn't mean through the podcast, that we'll still do it in our personal lives. We'll still talk about alopecia and still have our page and talk about alopecia every here and there and whatever. But like some people do an incredible job in alopecia. It's like some people have jobs where it's like alopecia and wigs and all the time, and some people don't, and some people can't do it all the time, and that's okay too. I mean, it's just like life, you know. And it's just like alopecia. Look at it like alopecia. Like some people love to rock their bald and some people don't. Some people love wigs and some people don't. It's literally just preference and what you're comfortable with. So you can apply that same thing. Yeah.
And it's your own journey. Like, I think that's the most important piece, is like, these are the decisions that you make for yourself. And sometimes they're not easy decisions. Like, it doesn't feel great that I'm quitting this podcast, and, you know, like, I'm sad about it, but
Right.
it's something had to give, and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it goes both ways too. Like, I mean, even when you came to me with it, like, you have to know when someone can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't take it personally, and you have to know, like, life. You know, like, just that in itself. Like, life happens, and I knew in the back of my head that this wasn't going to be forever, of course. But yeah, it's just I know life happens, and I know people have to drop out of things, and things have to change, and I don't even necessarily know what that means for me because I haven't really processed that yet, like knowing what to do next, because I'm not comfortable knowing what to do next yet, because I don't know if I want to take a step back. You know what I mean? So it's a weird gray area because I want to, of course, keep this going, but in the same breath, I'm like, man, do I have time? Like,
Do you have capacity?
do I have, right?
Do you have the room on your plate?
Right.
Paige?
The answer to that is no, but I'm also a person that just overdoes everything. But yeah, that's why we also wanted to do this episode, though, because we were like, that's gonna be weird if Kristen just goes and we do a post
and nobody
about
hears
it,
about her, and she's
and
like,
nobody,
"Ah."
nobody hears her talk about it or why she decided to leave. Like, we have
Because this
always
isn't ending on bad terms. Like,
Right.
we are literally,
That was
you know,
another thing
still
too.
going to be friends. We're, you know, I told her she's not
No,
getting rid of me.
yeah, it's not bad blood. We didn't have like a crazy fight or anything.
No.
It's just life, and I honestly wanted her to have the platform to talk about it too, because it would feel so
Paige is
wrong
so
for you to
supportive.
leave.
She's just so supportive. Just
It would
another
just-
quality in her bucket of qualities. God, this woman.
You too, though. Right back at ya. I mean, like, even with me deciding to just throw a ton of stuff at opening a business, you were like, yeah, do it.
Do it.
I'll buy all your stuff. Do it. Same goes for you. So it's like, that's why I wanted it to be proper. Ew. I don't like that word, but you know what I mean. Proper. I feel like it would be it would be less personal if we just did a post and you were like, see you later.
Bye, guys.
The people that listen are friends, our family. I mean, like, everybody that listens is our friends and family. So, like, we'd feel bad to not give you an explanation, and we don't know what's to come. But, I mean, I don't want that's weird also now that I can't say we. So, I don't know what's to
Paige
come.
doesn't know what's coming next.
Right. But, like, I will say, though, that the last 2 years, I couldn't have done it without you.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah.
This was something else. This was like an experience of a lifetime.
Right.
I'll never forget it. So.
Right. Like, that's the thing, too, is, like, Kristen's not doing this easily.
No.
And this was our thing that we had together where we enjoyed it every time we did. And every person we had on, we loved, and we laughed, and we collaborated on a million things. And we would jump on calls and just talk about the podcast and what we wanted to do next. And honestly, we had like a million plans for it, but we didn't see life hitting us. Like, Kristen isn't the only one that life hits. Like, if you notice that we aren't that active on social media, it's because life gets super crazy. But yeah, I feel like this podcast, we did a great job for 2 years, and I think
a great job.
Yeah, I think
I gotta hand it to you
of
for
that.
the like creativity and the editing that you did on these episodes. Holy shit!
Couldn't have done it without you, though. I mean, can you imagine it was just me? Like, I
can't imagine. Why do you not give yourself enough credit?
I feel like you can't have the funny aspect of it and everything. You gotta have another person that's like on your level of funny. It would have been bizarre just doing something like this by myself. So, I mean,
just bantering with yourself.
Yeah, that's also another reason why I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep it going after, because I want to leave it on like a happy. We got 2 years in, and we're so proud of everything, and everyone that came on. We're proud of you for telling your stories, and
oh God, right?
Yeah,
that took courage.
That's courage in itself, right? Like, to come on a podcast. A lot of people said this is the first time they've ever been on a podcast.
Yeah.
So, like, that's something, too. And we had a million people reach out to us telling us, like, they found our podcast and they felt brave enough to shave their head, brave enough to walk out with their bald spots showing. Like, we have wept over stuff like that. And it it has made us so happy because that was the whole goal of this. And I couldn't have done it without Kristen, so.
And I feel exact same way. It was a wild ride, and like we supported each other through it, and yeah.
I don't have a chick bit.
I don't have a chick bit either.
I know. I just realized that I don't have a chick bit or really anything to end this off on, which is funny. What I said in the beginning kind of goes, oh, I did have a quote though, and I thought it was super cute.
I love quotes.
Yeah, it was super cute. It's super simple. This is not a goodbye, my darling. This is a thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was
just perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was super fitting because it's like, it's not goodbye because you're still here. Still going to be on Instagram and social media when you are.
Ghost.
Yeah, right?
Really not me.
Oh, man.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'll speak for everybody that listens to, like, thanking you for doing everything you did for the last 2 years for this podcast and for everybody. I mean, it's a lot of work, but, like, you changed a lot of lives, and you should be really happy and proud about that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much. And,
You're welcome.
Thank you for everything, too. So
You got it.
And I'm excited to see.
We'll see.
What you do. Yeah.
We shall see. Until next. You know what's weird is, like, we usually say until next time, guys, bald peck out. But would it just be patchy girl out? Maybe I'll say patchy girl out.
Right. Patchy girl out.
Yeah, right. All the links you can find is in the description. Patchy girl out.
There you go, right?
I gotta see, that's like the thing too, is like the jingle, everything. I'm like, that's just so much work to like revamp all that. So I'm like,
oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
So we'll see.
And I mean like, guys, I'm not like going anywhere. You can still get me at Alopeaches. Like,
She's still in the community. She's still in alopecia. She didn't grow all her hair back.
Boycotting the alopecia community.
Yeah, right. You grew all your hair back. You're just like, deuces. See you later. I'm a normie now. I do not subscribe to the alopecia.
I've hit unsubscribe on that. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, how do we
Wouldn't that be
button?
wild?
Yeah.
Unsubscribe, just poof.
Yeah, poof.
Your hair just flies back in your head.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
It better go back down to the length I want it to.
Yeah, not just this crazy spiky hair. You should see my hair right now. This is the awkward stage.
Oh God, that is the awkward stage.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
I
know. One huge bald spot.
Seeding hairline.
I know, honestly. Truly. It's that one widow's peak.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to let Kristen sign it off however she wants to at the end.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in to my farewell episode. You can still reach Paige at the direct me link or Instagram or Facebook or really anywhere. She'll answer you. And all of that's going to be in the description.
Thanks for listening, guys. Obviously, you'll know what's to come. If I take a break, I'll let you know on social media because I have no idea what I'm going to do now. So I will let you know, to be determined. But yeah, I want to thank Kristen again. And obviously, we love you guys still, no matter if those ball chicks is here or not. So
that's right. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.